Okay, so you should have watched all of the video that goes with paragraph I. In that video, you saw me write this down, right? And each time I wrote something to this effect, I was giving you what is a statement and an argument on behalf of those who might think that looting is at least sometimes morally permissible. So what I would like for you to do is go back to the video and type up what I said for premise 1, type up what I said for premise 2, and then of course type up the conclusion that I was arguing for that I just mentioned. Now, for extra credit, there are two things you can do. So for extra credit, sorry about that, for 5 course bonus points. And I'll tell you what, even if you already have more than 40 course bonus points, you can still earn some more. So for 5 course bonus points for extra credit, you can address the following. In the general lecture video for paragraph I, comma, Professor C said that she is forcing us to endorse or accept or agree with the argument she comes up with on behalf of looters. Okay, to get extra credit, you can get up to 5 points extra credit, and you really do have to earn extra credit. I just don't give it to you. It's not something to take lightly. What you will do is you will use this sentence as your first sentence. So you would say, it is false that, or it is not true that, or it is not the case that, or if you think that that this is the case in terms of the lecture video for paragraph I, you would say, it is the case that, it is true that, and then you would copy the rest of the sentence. Of course, you're going to add that little introductory phrase, and then you'll turn this big I into a little I, right? So depending on what you determine, based on the little video lecture that went with paragraph I, you will say it is true or it is false that, or you'll say it is not the case that, or it is the case that. Or you could say Professor, so that would be your first sentence. Then after that, I need at least 2 or 3 more sentences where you explain why you have constructed the first sentence as you have. And I don't mean say things like, well, you told us to copy the first sentence, because that's not the only thing I told you to do. But I need you to explain why you said that it is true, it is the case, or why you said it's false or it's not the case, okay? And you must get your sentences from the lecture video. Do not plagiarize. You are plagiarizing if you lift more than 4 consecutive words from what I said and you don't put quotation marks around it. So that's the rule for this extra credit. If you lift 4 or less words, you do not need to put, consecutive words from the lecture. You don't have to put quotation marks around it. But if you do, then put quotation marks around it. You do not have to put internal citations. You do not have to do a works cited list, because I know that you're responding specifically to a video related to this part of this week's assignment. But you must use quotation marks, because if you don't, then you're committing a kind of plagiarism. Okay, now for another So if you want to earn more course bonus points, what you can do is following my example, right? Following my example for the argument that I created for paragraph I, this is supposed to be an I, by the way, you too can construct an original argument where your reasoning pulls from an idea that I have not used in this argument. So paragraph I points to different things or touches on different concepts, different words that name different concepts relevant to supporting the claim that looting might be sometimes morally permissible. So then what I'm saying is for up to 5 more points of extra credit, you are basically going to construct an argument and put it in this form. So this is what we call a formatted argument, okay, where you label everything, you put the premises first and then the conclusion last if you're working with a simple argument. So a simple argument from the standpoint of Dr. C's logic thinking is one that has only one conclusion. So then if you're doing more extra credit, your conclusion, you already know it. It may sometimes be morally permissible to loot. That's what you'll write down. Then I need to see that you pulled from, that you made use of words that point to fundamental and powerful concepts in paragraph I to construct some reasoning en route to the conclusion. So basically, I've given you an example, the one that you do for points, right? The argument that I based on what? If the one about stores and underserved neighborhoods and whatnot, you cannot use the ideas that I pulled from the paragraph. You need to choose something else to get the extra credit. So that's up to 5 points. You can get up to 10 more course bonus points, even if that puts you up over 40 points.